What's up, college football fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with a Mean Green Show. I'm joined here with Myles, the UNT6. Myles, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. Yeah, great day yesterday, and I'm excited for fall already. I just want to
Yeah,
skip everything, go straight to fall.
absolutely. Same here. It was good. Being able to see the guys during a little bit of an abbreviated spring game. Wasn't a traditional spring game, but um, more of a live practice, I guess you could say. And I think we have a lot of things to kind of unfold a little bit. And, just off the top, some of the guys who didn't participate, LeBlanc, uh, Noville, Shorter, and Stout, we know Noville, what he's going to do and, what he means for that defensive line. And Shorter, another one, I think, debatably our number one receiver, wasn't in there. And Stout, another big time playmaker in the defensive backs. And, LeBlanc, will definitely be in the mix too. So a couple of key guys that did not participate. But what are your thoughts on? Let's just jump right into quarterback first, I guess. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks that you saw play?
Well, it was hard to tell a lot what could happen in the future because of the one offense going against the two second string defense. So that
Yeah,
kind
why do
of threw
you?
it off a little bit.
Sorry to interrupt you on that, but
Mhm.
why do you think they did that? First team offense against second team defense, and first team defense against second team offense. That's
It
interesting.
it didn't make a lot of sense. Someone
Yeah,
said it was because they wanted to show people they'd be more entertaining to the people. I was like,
yeah,
oh gosh, come on, just
yeah,
play one versus one. And that would have been,
yeah,
I think that would have been more entertaining. Seeing Murphy's brothers on the end going against Ani, that would have been great.
yeah,
I would have thought that would have been great. But
yeah.
I don't
Same
know. I
here.
don't know what they're thinking. I thought that they should have had one versus one. But it
Yeah.
was still fun. It was still fun to watch. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. It was. So yeah, jumping back to the quarterbacks, what did you see that you liked, and maybe if there's anything that you didn't like, and not just from Ani, but maybe all the ones that you feel like mentioning.
well, it seems like the top two guys right now are Martin and Ani, of course.
Hmm.
Martin did get attacked a little bit. He's
Yeah,
going against the first string defense, and no bashing on the offensive line, but they're quick. The Murphy brothers, and then you
yeah,
had Tyreek and Katie Davis, and you had all
yeah,
those guys coming at you. Martin didn't get a lot of time to throw. He had a lot of
yeah,
passes that he had to throw away, or he even
mm,
got sacked or strip sacked, or all of the things that happened. And um, it was hard to gauge what he did because he was going against it. I would say a much improved defense.
yeah.
I don't think they would have done it last year because of coaching and all of that, but
Hmm.
um, I think he played good for what he was going against. And then Ani, I think he played good against a pretty okay, second string defense
Hmm.
that we do need. We do need a second string defense for
Oh,
the
for sure.
rotations because
Oh, for
last
sure.
year they didn't like to do rotations. I don't know why, but I think Ani played well. It's still his to lose.
Hmm.
If Martin really plays well over going into fall camp and all that, or even if when Reuter comes in, if he
Hmm.
balls out or whoever down there wants to really get the job, I think they can because it's his to lose, and he's not playing bad, but he's not like at a Mason Fine level like 2 years
Right.
ago in fall camp and spring camp when I was like, wow, he's going to be really good the next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are some good times. And yeah, but I'm with you. Obviously, I think it's Ani's pretty much as far as the quarterbacks there. He's established. He's the guy. Barring anything crazy, and then we'll see when Reuter gets here. That'll make things interesting if nothing else. And if Reuter wasn't the guy, hopefully it'll just elevate Ani's play. But we'll see. And Bryce got in there a little bit, and Amani Gilmore. Some guys that we haven't really get to see too much, and so that's cool. I mean, Bryce, he should be in high school right now, so every rep he gets is just extra. So that's doesn't hurt. So we'll see how his progression pans out,
Mm-hmm.
in the years to come. And jumping over to the receivers, being that they were without Shorter, it seemed pretty apparent that in the absence of Shorter, that Deontay Simpson was the guy for yesterday. And saw a lot of good things out of Lorenzo Thompson as well as Bryson Jackson too. But yeah, man, what do you think about our receiver room as it sits right now? With and without Shorter.
Well, without Shorter, it's a little bit young. They're
Hmm.
really, really young and inexperienced at the FBS level because Bryson Jackson was at JUCO.
Hmm.
Um, they're still good. There's no doubt they're not that good. They could still be in the top 5 of the conference, but it's a pretty big glaring hole because I'm not Simpson's a great receiver. I think he
Yeah.
is the wide receiver one
Hmm.
because Shorter was set back a year.
Hmm.
But adding Shorter would add another weapon for Ani, and Ani needs as many weapons as
Yeah.
possible. And I also noticed DeAndre Torrey was playing in the slot. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed
That was
that.
interesting.
I
Yes.
was I was like, why is he in the
Feels like a
slot?
bowling ball out
And
there.
he had a nice catch. I think he was close to the score, and then
Yeah.
one he just it completely failed over his head. I was like, well,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of the size, but still, that was interesting to see. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna go with Torrey in the slot and then have Attaway in the backfield, something like that. So that
Hmm.
was something that I found interesting from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. And, a little bit more on Lorenzo, he was doing well yesterday too. And something that I kind of forget, but he played DB last year on the, since just because we needed him to. So I think he will only get better faster. I think his acceleration at the wide receiver position will come pretty quick. And that's my hope anyway. So I think he's going to be one that we need to keep an eye out, and maybe he could, really break into something, a pretty important role, hopefully by this year, but if not, then the following year. And, the defense, man, the defense definitely looked, again, it's first team defense against second team offense. So it's kind of hard to, make bold statements about it. But man, those Murphy brothers, they're just, they get a lot of hype in the offseason, but man, they deliver on it. It's just, they look they look like animals out there, man. They were disruptive, hard to keep out of the backfield. It seemed like they were back there like in a matter of under 2 seconds, and it was nice to see. And how do you feel about our defense as a whole, and just how it looked yesterday, under Bennett and what he has doing or what he has going on.
Well, I think the strain of bad coaches is gone. I think it
Hmm.
is because, and Passwater and Holly, they're coming in, and Coach Gush and Coach Bennett they're coming into a defensive group that is extremely talented. They just weren't executed because the last coaching staff did not execute them well, and everyone said that. So it's a matter of time before they can actually get into a real rhythm, and that's what they're
Hmm.
doing this year. I know they're going against the second string offense, and the defensive line was going against the second string offensive line, but still, I mean, they're beasting through them. If they can shred through them like that, then they can really go against the first team offensive line in the Conference USA and do really well. But I think it's
Yeah.
it's it's really good, and I'm really happy because Phil Bennett was on them. Busted coverage, one missed tackle, something like that. He is on top of them, making sure they know what they did and they're held accountable. And that's what I love because Bowen in the past and Refit was pretty good doing that, but in the past it just seems like they weren't as on top of them, and discipline was a big problem last year on defense. And looks like this year he's not going to deal with the bad discipline. So
Yeah.
it seems like they're a little bit more progressed this year, and they have the talent. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he seems very, very hands on, which is a good thing in my opinion. Um, who do you feel like won the day for you, and just from the outside looking in? Would you say the offense or the defense as a whole? I know, not first team, second team, whatever. Just like, were you more impressed, excited to see what they put out on the field from the defensive side or the offensive side?
it's tough because both. I don't. Oh man, it's tough.
Yeah.
I would say probably the defense because the offense was already at a pretty good level, and they just
Hmm.
like they're taking tiny steps. The
Hmm.
defense was at a really really bad level, and now they're taking even bigger steps to get to a better goal. And I think that's they played the best. And if they didn't
Hmm.
have both Murphys on the end, I think offense would have won
Yeah.
because those two changed the entire game because they were
Yeah.
constantly in the backfield, like you said. They're constantly
Absolutely.
harassing Casey Moore, and I feel bad for him a little bit because
Yeah.
they even hit him one time. And I was like, oh boy, it's getting a little out of hand now.
And they still made
But
him roll after practice. What was that?
oh yeah. Oh man. See that, and that's the thing. He's holding them accountable,
Yeah.
and I think the defense won.
Yeah.
And the
Ye-
best players, MVPs, were definitely the Murphys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm with you on that one. Yeah. And I think I'm with you too as far as the defense, just a little bit more. I think a big part of that is because of the Murphys, but also just they just seemed more, just they didn't get you, you know we didn't have those huge plays. I mean, Deontay Simpson had that really big touchdown grab,
Hmm.
um, and I know there was a few others, but it wasn't like every time Oscar Ottaway got the ball, he was getting 10 yards. However, that's one we didn't talk about is Oscar Ottaway, and man, he looked good. He looked really good. I was really glad to see him out there moving around, and it's probably looking like he's gonna be the feature back for us. Don't you think?
I think it's gonna be split between him and Tori,
Really,
because I think Tori's a extra senior. He's like, I guess they can call a super
super
senior.
senior, yeah.
Yeah, because and he's gonna be probably the starter, but mix in him and Attaway, that's a dangerous backfield. And then with the offensive line that you already have established,
Hmm.
it's great. And the offensive line played great. I mean, none of those guys, well, except for Cooper Cup, who's massive, made
Yeah.
plays. He's the only person I think I saw that made plays in the backfield.
Hmm.
That's how good the offensive line can be.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
went off.
Yeah. Cooper Cup. Yeah, he was making some plays out there too. That was good to see. I mean, we'll see what um he does this season, but I wasn't expecting for him to be in the mix as much as he was, and that was a nice surprise. So okay, so kind of taking it out of spring a little bit, looking, peeking, and this won't be our last time talking about this before we get the next season going. But okay, so our schedule, it's Northwestern first, then at SMU, then UAB comes to Denton, then we go to La Tech. So off of those first four, do you think we pull off a win from UAB or Louisiana Tech?
We go 2-2.
You think we go
I
two and
think
two?
I think the better chance of winning would be at Louisiana Tech, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Louisiana Tech's always been consistent. I don't think they're gonna be that good next year. I mean,
Yeah.
most people have them projected 4-8, 5-7. People have projected us 5-7, 6-6,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And
Yeah.
we've won in Ruston when they're not that good. I
Mm-hmm.
think we can really take advantage of that, mainly after what I've seen now. Of course, it's so early. That's all the
It's
way in
very
late.
early.
That's all the way in late
Very
September.
early.
But I
Yeah.
think there is a little bit more optimism in that game, and I've always had more optimism in Louisiana Tech,
Mm-hmm.
because we've always had either a good team or a bad team, and they were either bad too. So we go two
Okay.
and two. Right now,
So
my prediction 2-2. Fall
okay.
camp, it might be 1-3, it might be 3-1. If it's
Yeah.
3-1,
Yeah.
then you know.
Man, I would take out of those teams, I would take a 2 and 2. I would, and I wouldn't be just I mean, obviously we want to win every game, but like 2 and 2 coming out of that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So then, obviously, we have at Missouri, Marshall comes to us, and then Liberty comes to us. Out of those three, what do you think we do? Do you think we can steal one from Marshall or Liberty?
Considering they're both at home, I think we can. I think we go
Okay.
1-2. Uh, I mean, we're no way we lose back-to-back home games like that. Last
Mm-hmm.
year's team was just not as good. There's a lot of problems. I just don't feel like we lose back-to-back home games
Mm-hmm.
to teams that. I mean, Liberty and Marshall both won. Liberty's not in a conference, but they would have
Mm-hmm.
won a conference if they were in one. Um, so I just think we have a better chance. I don't know why. I
Mm-hmm.
just think we do. I mean, it's at home. Home's always a little bit favorable, so I think
Yeah.
that's what we can do. 1-2. If we can go two
Okay.
and one, that's a big celebration. Give us a bowl game.
Yeah. So that would put us then, we go 2 and 2 with the first four. Then we go 1 and 3 with those next three.
1-2.
1 and 2. You're right.
Yeah.
1 and 2. So that puts us at 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4 record, right? Going into Rice. That wouldn't be that bad, because then we have Rice, Southern Miss, UTEP, FIU, and UTSA. Out of those 5 games, it would be hard, but I think we could win 4 of those. I think out of those last 5, I think we could win 4. Um, then out of those 5, it's Rice, Southern Miss, UTEP, FIU, and UTSA. I really think we could win 4 of those 5 games.
Rice and UTSA scare me the most because
Yeah,
Rice every year. Now, last year the record might not say it, but
but
every
they're
year
coming
they
up.
are getting better and better. Mike
Hmm.
Bloomgren has done a terrific job with that team. Recruiting class, amazing. They were like third or fourth. I think they were third in the conference for
Hmm.
2021. They're really
Hmm.
good. That's scary because it's in Houston, and I don't want to travel there again and see another
Yeah.
loss because I can't take another loss there. And then
Yeah.
UTSA, it's at home. That's a little bit more favorable, but it's UTSA,
Yeah.
and if they have another year like last year with
Yeah.
McCormick and Harris and all
Hmm.
those guys, that's gonna be really tough. And it's the end of the year, and it's a rivalry game. Everything's on the
Hmm.
line. It could be for the whole West Division. You don't
It could
know.
be. It
And
could be.
well, pending UAB.
Yeah.
But that could be. There's a lot in the line. Everything's on the
Yeah.
line for that game,
Hmm.
and that's gonna be the toughest one besides Rice. I think we
Yeah.
can handle FIU's. Just they've gotten better in recruiting and stuff, but they're just not that good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. They they,
Yeah.
they lost to FCS team by 11.
Yeah.
Um, Southern Miss is also on the road. Is that on the road, right?
Southern Miss is, yeah, we're going to Southern Miss.
That's a lot of road games. Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know.
So and UTEP's at home because last year's supposed to be in El
One thing
Paso, right?
about Southern Miss, man, I think Trey Lowe, their quarterback out of West Virginia, the one who
Mm.
transferred in, he ended up being the starter after Abraham left, and I
Mm-hmm.
think he's starting to look a little bit better. you
And
know,
Frank Gore Jr. That's the
yeah, and
person that we
Frank
have
Gore
to talk because he
Jr.
ran all over us.
Yes, he
And
did.
I
He's legit.
I think we go 3-2, and that
Yeah.
puts us at 6-6,
Hmm.
right? Okay.
Hmm.
So that's a bowl game
Yeah.
in most terms, unless
Yeah.
something weird
Yeah.
happens. So
Yeah. Is that
give
an
me
is
6-6 is the extension for Seth.
is that an is that yeah? It's, so you're saying that 6-6 will get him extended?
Unless he wants to leave here for a bad job like Texas State
Yeah.
or something,
I
then
would, yeah, and now if, well, let's say hypothetically we went 6-6 and they extended him, I would be good with that.
six.
I
No, I
would.
think the only reason they would do that is if he wins a bowl game. I think that's the six and
Yeah.
six is the bare minimum you need to have for him. And if you don't win the bowl game, there's a great chance no
Hmm.
extension. But if he wins the
Hmm.
bowl game, I'll say yeah,
Oh
extension
yeah.
because you
Yeah.
won a bowl game first time,
Yeah.
even if it was like a random
Yeah.
Mobile Bowl. I don't
Yeah.
care as long
Yeah.
as I'm there and I get to see a win.
Yes.
That's a perfect extension to me.
Yes. Yeah. It's been since 2013, right? The Heart of Dallas Bowl that we beat UNLV. That's our. It's been a
And that wasn't
while.
even under Seth Luttrell. That was under
No,
Dan
I know.
McCarney too. It
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
man, that was a long time
I
ago.
know. Yeah. But we need to. We got too much momentum. I feel like we have momentum in recruiting right now. Regardless of our schedule, and I just want us to capitalize on that so much. We just want us to snowball it and just build. I really want North Texas to be like a G5, or well, they are G5, but I want us to be like
Mhm.
a Boise State. That's my dream for this school.
And
And
there's so much talent to that for that to happen. I mean,
yeah.
all those guys, a
Hmm.
lot of those guys could be playing at Power Five schools if they really
Hmm.
wanted to. Upton
Yeah.
Stout, I
Oh
mean, we
yeah.
didn't talk about him, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be terrific. Even though I didn't play this spring, I think
Yeah.
he's gonna be defensive back number one. If they depending on what they do with Gaddy, I don't know what they do
Hmm.
with Gaddy,
Hmm.
but if I think they're so talented on defense this year because they did not execute them last year. And on
Hmm.
offense, they're already going to be talented. And imagine I'm hearing other stuff coming in. You're going to be like at an all time high, and you have
Yeah.
to win games. And if they could pull off two games that we said are losses, like UAB or a UTS or something like that, that would be monumental for this program. Winning 8 games would be huge, and that would give us
Yeah.
more momentum going into the next recruiting cycle and all of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we'll see. They're not even done with the 21 class either. We might get a big name receiver come in.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice, and that would help. Just elevate our offense that much more. And again, we obviously I think we were both pleased with what we saw from Ani yesterday. But when Reuter gets here, that'll
Create a lot of competition, and I like
yeah,
competition. I like to see the best come out of people, and that's definitely going to happen unless
yeah,
something weird happens, which I
yeah,
hope.
definitely. Well, all right, Miles. Anything else we need to touch on?
160 days till first kickoff.
Is that it? Is that
I'm
the
pretty sure it's
countdown?
161 was yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's 160 today.
160. Yeah, we
Something
needed to
around
hurry
that.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once summer gets here and we're all on break, I'm sure it'll fly by. But yeah, now that spring ball's over, we need a few more splashes in the 21 class to get us to summer, and then summer will just barrel down and we'll get there. But yeah, 160 days until Northwestern comes to Apogee. That's exciting. Well, all right, Miles, thanks again for jumping on, and we'll talk again soon. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments below, and what are your projections for UNT next year? All right, Miles. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.